is shaking. China has urged its citizens to vacate Iran immediately. UK has closed its embassy in Tehran. Meanwhile, Israel also is evacuating its citizens that it has in the hospital, taking them to a safer place. The Vice President of America is meeting with the leaders of the Middle East today in America to discuss of the upcoming tension between America and Iran. Because this is the first time in history that any country is facing Iran to war. It has never happened before for over 47 years that the regime of Islamic Republic of Iran has been existing. This is going to be a thing that will surprise the whole world. How it's going to unfold. Everywhere is shaking. Spain has asked its citizens to evacuate Tehran and also Iran. Meanwhile, the European Union are strongly behind President Donald Trump. He's not just alone in this matter. Even Canada has shown their support to him. A lot of countries have shown their support to President Donald Trump on what is going to carry out now in Iran. What do you think is going to be next? But before we continue, let's listen to this update coming up from Tehran and also from Jerusalem. Let's listen to it.
Over the last few hours, the drums of war have been beating all the louder across the Middle East. The United States has withdrawn non-essential staff from its embassy in Jerusalem. Britain has withdrawn all of its staff from its embassy in Tehran. The Israelis reportedly are moving vulnerable patients out of some of the hospitals into safer areas. And so as we look across the region, we can see that there is a sense that something warlike is about to happen fairly soon.
It might all be a bluff.
It might all be a bluff. Of course it might. But if so, it's a fairly elaborate bluff. Because the United States has got two carrier strike groups, one the Abraham Lincoln, south of Iran. It's got the USS Ford, the carrier strike group in the Eastern Mediterranean, and it's got bases all over the region. The thing is, it can't use most of those bases because the Middle East governments won't allow them to be used, so it would have to launch strikes from its carriers and from other bases further afield. It's even sent F-22s. This is the aircraft that they won't sell to anyone else in the world. And they've got F-22 sitting in Israel at the moment. So it looks as if something is going to happen. But although they're poised for what could be a very destructive and even a long attack, something lasting 2 or 3 weeks that would go after Iranian air defences and then Iranian infrastructure and then maybe go after all of the regime nodes themselves. The understanding is that the Americans would probably take some losses if they did that. There would be deaths, there would be damage, they might lose some aircraft, they might have damage to ships. So the Iranians are making it clear that they could do quite a lot to make this very expensive for President Trump. And the Iranians are also indicating, of course, that they might even block the Strait of Hormuz. They could actually bring the whole world economy into their retaliation, and they've threatened to do this before. Blocking the Strait of Hormuz, 20% of global energy, mainly oil, goes through the Strait of Hormuz, and that immediately will put a strain on the world economy. Not likely that they would do that immediately, but if the Americans had a longish attack on Iran, they may well decide to do it, and retaliate in general across the region. Many other countries in the region are very nervous that this might set off a really unstable sort of domino effect. So ultimately, this comes down to a personal battle between Ayatollah Khamenei and Donald Trump. These are two naturally autocratic leaders who don't accept very much advice that they don't like. And it's possible that Trump has been bluffing all the time. It's possible that these drums of war are all to increase the pressure on Khamenei. But at the moment, Khamenei looks as if he's not going to rush to do a deal. He's going to hold off on that. It looks as if Khamenei is calling Donald Trump's bluff. And if he is, then Donald Trump has got to spend the weekend making some very careful decisions. If he is bluffing, he's got to find a way out. But just maybe it'll turn out he isn't bluffing after all.
Okay, let's watch out. If America is bluffing, or all those American warship, warjets, and other powerful military asset that is in the Middle East, let's see if it is just for a bluffing. Because you think maybe before America will say they want to carry out a strike, they don't have that strategy. No, a lot of newscasters are saying that America cannot be able to win Iran just because those island of America, where America has their own bases in the Middle East, are refusing America to use their country to attack Iran, especially from Qatar, from the United Arab Emirates, from Saudi Arabia, from Pakistan, from all of them around. They refuse America to use their base to attack Iran because they know if any attack comes from their base, definitely Iran is going to retaliate, and Iran may retaliate and miss the target. They don't want Iran to attack their country, or they don't want Iran to attack their, American military base in their country too, because it's going to be a terrorizing to their own country. A lot of things is going to go wrong, a lot of things is going to destroy, and that is going to be a very big problem. But in the other hand, the Iranians are also threatening to attack all those bases, whether those people agree for America to use their base or they do not agree for America to use their base, they are still threatening that they are still going to attack all those American bases all over the Middle East. They are going to attack it. We don't really know what is going to happen, but people are saying much about Iran, that Iran has a lot. They have more, when you go meet person for house, and that person may have more advantage because now you go meet them for house. But I trust the American military that they will not be used. It is not possible for them to fall in the trap of. That is the more reason the Vice President Vance is having an important meeting today with all these leaders from the Middle East to discuss with them on the new development, because even everybody knows it is true that what Iran is doing is a threat even to them, to everybody. So there is no way they can just say they will not allow America to use their base. I don't know what the discussion is going to be. And also, the Secretary of State is going to meet with Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, on Monday to discuss this same very issue. Let's see what is going to happen. But what I know very clear is that the European Union, they are all standing behind Trump, because why? This man is not just a threat to America or a threat to Israel. It's also a threat to the Western world. And the Western world knows very, very well that what Trump is about to do is an historical thing. Nobody has dared to do. In fact, the NATO combined together has never dared to face Iran, because they know the process of people that Iran is supporting, is empowering, like people like Houthis, people that are capable of setting fire in the world. Didn't you just see what they say just now? That Iran is planning to block the Sea of Hormuz. And that Sea of Hormuz is where 80%, maybe 30% of fuel they pass, they go different parts of the world. If you then block that place, automatically it's going to affect the whole world. So they know what they are about to do. And America knows their strategy. Let's see what is going to happen. I pray that America, God stand with them with wisdom, knowledge, to be able to carry out what they are about to carry out, because it's an historical thing that has never happened for the past 47 years of the history of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Starmer, the Prime Minister of UK, has condemned Iran and said that Iran can never have a nuclear weapon, and also throw his support to his island in the Western Asia, all those countries where Iran don't attack. And also, he don't send British jets, British watch jets to fly around all those nations where them also forget military bases. But he said it was not part of the attack in Iran, but he all totally support Donald Trump and the mission of Iran not having a nuclear weapon, because Iran has murdered a lot of people and they are also threats to Israel. Let's listen to Prime Minister of Britain, Starmer. Let's listen to him.
Earlier this morning, the United States and Israel struck targets in Iran. Iran has since launched indiscriminate strikes across the region. I know the British people and communities across our country will be deeply concerned about what this means for security and stability, and for the fate of innocent people across the region. which for so many of us includes friends and family members. So whilst the situation is evolving very quickly, I want to set out our response. The United Kingdom played no role in these strikes, but we have long been clear. The regime in Iran is utterly abhorrent. They have murdered thousands of their own people, brutally crushed dissent, and sought to destabilize the region. Even in the United Kingdom, the Iranian regime poses a direct threat to dissidents and to the Jewish community. Over the last year alone, they have backed more than 20 potentially lethal attacks on UK soil. So it is clear they must never be allowed to develop a nuclear weapon. That remains the primary aim of the United Kingdom and our allies, including the US. I condemn Iran's attacks today on partners across the region, many of which are not parties to this conflict.
At all.
We extend our support and solidarity to them as part of our commitments to the security of our allies in the Middle East. We have a range of defensive capabilities in the region, which we've recently strengthened. Our forces are active, and British planes are in the sky today as part of coordinated regional defensive operations to protect our people, our interests, and our allies, as Britain has done before, in line with international law. We've stepped up protections for British bases and personnel to their highest level. We are also reaching out to UK nationals in the region and doing everything we can to support them. I've been speaking with leaders today from the E3 and across the region. It is vital that we prevent further escalation and return to a diplomatic process. We want to see peace and security and the protection of civilian life. Iran can end this now. They should refrain from further strikes, give up their weapons programs, and cease the appalling violence and repression against the Iranian people, who deserve the right to determine their own future, in line with our long-standing position. This is the route to de-escalation and back to the negotiating table.
It is too late. Negotiating table is too late. No, it's too late. It is too late. They have long been in power for the past 47 years. It's enough. A country that doesn't do election, one particular person will just be the supreme leader forever. The people are not as dumb like that. They are not Afghanistan. Iran people are very intelligent. They are very wise. They are not like Afghanistan. Oh. They go school and beautiful and handsome men. They are tired of a regime dictating for them forever. What we need is a regime change in Iran. Are we afraid to say? I don't know why Stamake can fear. What we need in Iran, what the people of Iran need is a regime change. They don't want diplomacy. They don't want negotiation table. They don't want anything. They want a regime change. They say they want a regime change. They want their life to change. They want to free from the Ayatollah dictatorship that has been ruling them for all their life. They are tired. They say they want to free. That is what Stamake will have said, that free Iran. Free Iran. The people of Iran said they want to be free from the regime of Ayatollah. That is why this war is going on. And which one be say come to the negotiating table? Negotiating table is too late. There's nothing like negotiating table again. It's bomber to bomber now. So everywhere they shake. That is what I want. So that the regime of Ayatollah will be taken out from there. Oh God. That is why I make up paint my mouth to do this kind of video, because it's pleasing me that at least America has carried out their threats on Iran. Yes, the Otokunadu Donald Trump. He did it. He said help is coming and help has already arrived. Why are we talking about the negotiating table? They have been negotiating for the past 1 month. 3 times of negotiation. They said no, they will not stop their ballistic missile, their nuclear weapon. And no country wanted to have nuclear weapon. No country in the world wanted to have nuclear weapon. Why are they insisting on having nuclear weapon? Number one threat, terrorist supporter, terrorist sponsor in the world want to have a nuclear weapon. Who will accept that? That is why I'm so ashamed of the people supporting Iran. Do you even people know what Iran represents? If you know what Iran represents, you will thank America for stepping in. Breaking news coming out from Israel television house is that the supreme leader has been targeted and he has been killed. Nobody is, I'm not sure about this news, but it is coming out right now from Israel because they said Khamenei house was the first target during the first target of Israel and that he has been killed alongside with the chief of army staff and also the chief judge and about more people, important people, top politicians, top leaders in that very country has been targeted because Ali Khamenei house was the first to be targeted in this airstrike. But before we continue, let's listen to this news and let's see if it is true.
We are getting word from Israel Channel 12, who are now reporting that Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is dead.
Oh, wow.
That the Iranian supreme leader has been killed in the airstrikes launched by the United States and Israel today. A determined effort by President Donald Trump to topple the Iranian regime. And if true, the reports coming to us now from Israeli Channel 12 that Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is dead, then they have indeed toppled the very head of that regime. And the consequences and ramifications of that can only be guessed at because we have also been reporting just in the last few minutes that the Iranian Defense Minister, Amir Nasirazdeh, and also the Iranian, I should say, commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Commander Mohammed Pakpour, is also dead. These two top officials, one a military official, the other a civilian official in charge, of course, of the military, the Iranian Defense Minister, and the head of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, according to Reuters, quoting 3 Iranian sources, have been killed. Add to that these very significant reports now coming from Israeli Channel 12 television reporting that Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, has been killed in those strikes.
That is incredible breaking news that Mark White is bringing you there. I mean, he's 86 years old. He's been the real figurehead for the regime in Iran and some of the atrocities they have committed against their own people over the last couple of months. The initial reports were that we didn't know where he was. He had maybe been smuggled out of the country. But do we know any more? Was he killed? Was he still in Iran, or we don't know?
Those reports, we don't have details as yet, but certainly when I was reporting first thing this morning on the strikes, we got sort of message from the Fars news agency in Iran, obviously the state-run news agency there, very quickly suggesting that the Ayatollah had been put on a plane out of Tehran, the Iranian capital. Effectively, they were suggesting to us, out of harm's way and away from any attempt by the United States or the Israelis to take him out, because we had confirmation from multiple sources during the morning that as well as strikes that were targeting military targets and also targeting ministries, ministry buildings belonging to the regime in the likes of central Tehran. What you were also seeing were decapitation strikes aimed at the figureheads of the Iranian regime. And the very top of that pile is the Ayatollah. And as I say, Channel 12 in Israel reporting that Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has been killed.
Okay, Mark White for now, thank you very much. That's live breaking news for you. So let's let's talk to former Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett. Mr. Bennett, thank you so much for joining us. Can we just have your reaction?
That is the breaking news that Ayatollah Khamenei has been killed in Israel and America strike this morning because his own bunker was the first target. That was the first one they targeted. Not just there, but where they have their ballistic missiles, where they have their military camp, even their parliament also was attacked. So a lot of casualties have been announced, and also about 3 important top officials has also been killed alongside with Khamenei. I'm not confirming this news now, but it's coming. You can hear it. It's not from my mouth. It's from the mouth of Israel television house that is saying that Ayatollah Khamenei was targeted and it was eliminated during this very strike. But I will be back with more updates.